Hey y'all, it's 7:30 on a Wednesday night, and so you know what time it is. It's the Sugar Show, where we get together and we talk about women's boxing. Okay? Um, you know the name. I'm Natalie SUGAR Brown, and women's boxing is my game. The show is about just talking about the authentic experience of women's boxing. Really, touching on topics that may make some people squirm on other platforms. Hey, Mike. Mike chimes in tonight. Says hi, Sugar. Hey, baby. Thanks for coming. Thanks for chiming in. Um, I am so excited about what has been going on in the welterweight and middleweight category. But before, hey, oh, Eric's in the building too. Hey, Eric, thanks for chiming in with Sugar. Okay, and you know what? More people. We. It's a party now, right? And the more the merrier. So um, we're talking about some good stuff happening in the super welterweight, middleweight division, but allow me to introduce myself a bit more. My name is Natalie Sugar Brown, aka Miss Too Bad. I have been an elite boxer or female boxer in women's boxing all my life. It was a career of mine, or it is, and uh, I am just grateful to the guys here at Talkin Fight for the opportunity to give back my hard-won perspectives on what the game really is, and uh, hopefully coach others on how to play it, even though you don't play boxing. Okay, so yes, it's getting real hot in that middleweight division. We are going to touch on just a question. The title of the show is who gets the big break? Who gets the breaks, right? You feel, or you look at women's boxing, you look at the rankings, the ratings, you look at all the sanctioning bodies, and you see a list of baddies, a list of broads in line for the opportunity to take on the champion. And for the most part, we feel like, okay, number one goes first, number two goes second, number three, and on and on and on. But it ain't working like that, especially in women's boxing. And I want to touch on what goes on in that situation because I just want people to understand what you got to go through to keep your spot. And then what happens when you work hard to keep your spot and then somebody from out of nowhere jumps your head and gets the break, right? It's not fair. You train, you're focused, your people, you got your team working for you, and you're doing everything you're supposed to do just for them to play dirty checkers with you, right? Boxing, they say it's chess not checkers, and it is. It's chess not checkers, in the ring and outside the ring. And you got to have the right people, just like in chess, right? You got to have the right people on your front line or the right people on your team playing each role. So, the topic or the topic of discussion or leading the discussion tonight is 50-year-old Chevelle Halbach. This crone put an injunction to the WBC for the 154 title match set on the 13th of August in Colombia between Patricia Bergold, who is holding the title right now, and our girl, Cecilia Breakhouse. Okay. Um, do we have pictures, my lovely assistant? See if you can put something up. All right. So there she go, itty bitty, right there on the screen. And I want to make it quick. I hope that we can adjust the screen uh, for the picture to come in better. But if that's what we got, that's what we got. Okay. Because we got listeners in on the podcast and we got people looking at the show on our viewing platforms. Okay. So we got Chevelle Halbach, who is a crone in the game right now. She has been in the game ever since I was a teen. I'm a crone now, and she's been in the game since I was a teenager. Fighting, she fought everybody. Chevelle Halbach has been a name in the industry for the past 20 plus years. Okay, and she does well for herself. She takes care of herself. She's strong. Her style is, she's a raw fighter. She's unconventional. She throws punches from looping angles that you don't see. Her stance is also unconventional, where she gives you that lead shoulder, but she looks like, when she's fighting you, she looks like she's walking away from you, right? She looks like she's always walking away from you, and then she comes back and she hits you with something, that Jersey Joe. So this is the thing I love about women's boxing, right? I love that we have our own style. I love that we have our own way of executing things that we've learned from our male counterparts in the industry. So I say that to say this, okay? Chevelle's style is a lot like, she would be considered like the Jersey Joe of women's boxing, the Jersey Joe Walcott style, where she acts like she's walking away from you, but then she comes with shots and she uses the momentum of that to draw you in and hurt you. Okay. She's Chevelle Halbach is about 5'4", between 5'4" and 5'6". I know I'm taller than her. I used to look up to, I still do. I looked up to her. Very, very, very nice person when you meet her. Okay, there are some broads, female boxing broads out here that are nasty. They're not friendly, and they have some kind of entitlement to them, but never the case with, we call her lovingly Chevy in women's boxing. Her nickname is, she's known as Fist of Steel, but we all call her Chevy. So Chevy has put herself, and Chevy and her team has put herself in good standing to be the mandatory for the WBC 154 title, which that is I believe it is a light middleweight. I've never been good at the weight classes, but it's 154. Okay. All I knew was my way. All I knew is definitely was my weight class, and maybe above, which was, my weight class was super lightweight or junior welterweight, and above welterweight, and then we got super welterweight and then middleweight, right? So I think this is the, or junior middleweight, which is this is 154 junior middleweight. So the story is junior. Thank you, Mike. Mike chimes in, junior middle. Thank you, Mike. So, what has happened though is Chevelle, in fighting over the years, and it's tough to get a spot. It's tough to get in a spot, and it's tough to keep a spot. Why? Because there's shenanigans that are happening where people are paying the sanctioning bodies under the table to get their girls placed on the rankings. And then you got to find fights. You got to fight the right people to stay in good standing. So, Chevelle has been doing that, but I like how she's done it because as a crone now, the way she's moved is she doesn't fight as often, right? Because getting ready for fights, and being ready for fights, as you get more mature in boxing, especially as a woman, it takes a lot out of you, so you have to preserve yourself. And what happens too is we kind of get on that train and crack, like it's like a train and crack where when we were younger we were training every day, we were doing everything twice as much because number one, we had something to prove, and number two, we were constantly learning. Chevy now is at a point in her career where she don't need to learn no more. She is who she's going to be in that ring, and she knows it inside and out. And she's going to take you somewhere if you are not ready, if you're not experienced enough, if you don't have that intelligence, Chevy going to take you on a ride. Okay. So Mike chimes in and says Chevy's last fight was August 7th, 2021. Damn, Skippy. Right. So that's what I was saying. It was last year, August sometime. Right. And now she's giving herself a window, giving herself a break. She's cross training. She does other things. So I think Chevy power lifts. She actually set the damn record for a bench press or something like that recently. Yeah. So she do stuff like that. That keeps her in good shape. It keeps her body sound enough to then pivot right back into competitive fighting. Okay. Um, Now, what's happened here? She put the injunction in, or her people put the injunction in because all of a sudden there's this fight set between Patricia Bergold and Cecilia Brækhus for August 13th in Colombia for the green belt, right? And the green belt is the belt. Okay, right now that's the strongest belt right now. Um, it just is what it is. Like I always say, the fighter makes the belt doesn't make the fighter. But in women's boxing now, uh, you know, the guy we strive for that green belt because the big boys, the mans, they gunning for that green belt too. So we on some follow the leader stuff with that, like with that. But what used to happen back in the day, and I hope we get back to this, was because we had so many renegades, the belt wasn't the thing that validated the fighter. It's who the fighter fought is what validated the fighter. So you didn't even have to have any belts. But if you had a good resume of names, you were that bitch. Okay. You were that broad. You were that baddie. Okay. When Layla and them came in, now they had the last name, so of course they're going want to have the belt and everything like that, so it looks good on paper. Things started to change. Now, how it goes or was put out there is Halbach's management offered Bergalt's team 20 grand to make this fight and defend and fight for this shot. Okay, so Chevelle's team offered Bergalt's team $20,000 for a shot, for a break. Um, for that as a mandatory challenger. And Bergholt's team ignored it. They didn't even come back with an answer. They just ignored it. I don't know. Like, this is women boxing now, right? So you knock on my door with $20,000 in your pocket, 20 grand, and you want to fight, I'll be there with bells on. But I guess that's not the case for Patricia Bergholt's team, right? So they didn't answer the door, and Chevelle sitting there, standing there on the porch, waiting for a break, waiting for an opportunity to fight. And out of the blue, the announcement comes that Patricia Bergholt is fighting Cecilia Breakhouse once again, August 13th in Colombia for the title. Now, this is a big slap in the face, right? Lovely assistant, can you put on the other image for me? Let's see what we got. I know I got people listening, but people are watching too, and I want y'all to see who we talking about, right? Okay, so there's Patricia Bergholt. Okay, she's holding both of the belts that she has. I'm not sure what the other belt is, but we focused on that green. Okay, and so Patricia, now it shows that, you know, it's locked in. That means Patricia and her team, Patricia signed on that dotted line saying, I will fight Cecilia. I will give Cecilia a break, right? While she went and left Chevelle Halbach and her team on red. Yeah. So, I mean, shenanigans, yes. Okay. There's a reason why there's a ranking. There's a reason why there are mandatories. There's reason why we have to do certain things to keep our place in our standing, keep our standing, and keep our value as fighters in this game, right? So if you are the mandatory challenger, you have done what it takes to get that break. And for someone, especially such as Cecilia Breakhouse, to jump over Chevelle Halbach's head and get this break, get this title shot, is very unethical. It is. Where are the rules? That means like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Right? It, what is women's boxing now? What is women's boxing? Right? Because we can't be taken seriously. What are we turning into WWE? Like, you have to take these rankings seriously. You have to understand what it means to be a baddie, a bad broad, what it means to be ranked, what our value system is. You don't get to pick and choose who you fight. Shame on you, Patricia Bergholt, because that's you. That's you, punk. Yeah, called you a punk. And I definitely fight you if I was active. No joke about that, because girl, I ain't even put the picture up. I saw you at one weigh in, and girl, I ain't see the work. I certainly didn't see the work on you. So yeah, I would try you. I certainly would, without a second thought. So you don't get to choose, Patricia Bergholt, who your challengers are. If there's a mandatory, you address that mandatory before you get to pick. Okay, and Chevelle Halbach is the mandatory. You got to give her the break before you give Cecilia. Now, Cecilia Breakhouse comes, you know, she comes in. She's got a name now. I guess Jessica McCaskill ran her ass out of 147, so she moving up to 154 because she sees that Bergholt is there. And I'm just gonna say, yeah, girl, ain't nobody concerned about you, Bergholt, Patricia. You weak up there holding that belt. So people are seeing that there's an opportunity to take what you got. And now I guess you and your team feel like you want to get the bang for the buck, because Cecilia, I mean, if Cecilia going to come on your porch and knock on your door, Cecilia know the game. She's been in it. She's been in it. She's showed up every day. She ain't missed a year. She's fought every year since I think about 2007. Fought every year. Mm-hmm. And she was the champion for the majority of those years at 147. And so she knows how the game is played. So she ain't going to move up without offering no good money. So I suppose she probably offered more than $20,000 for the break, and Patricia Burkhalter took that. And so that the sanctioning body of WBC sanctioned that title defense, which is, like I said, it's unethical for them to do that. It's not the highest bidder. I mean, these sanctioning bodies, I want y'all to know this. The sanctioning bodies, meaning uh, these belt organizations, is all about the money. They don't care. They really don't care about who's got the belt, who's in line, who's doing right by representing the belt. They don't care. You pay that bill, you pay my bill. You pay that, you gonna pay me for holding my belt. Otherwise, I'm gonna find somebody who's gonna pay me to take that belt from you. That's how they roll. Okay, so especially in women's boxing, yeah, that's how that works. So that they really played my girl Chevelle Hallback, Chevy. And Chevy's up there. Chevy's a crone. She's 50 years old, seasoned and brined. And she is she's in good condition to put on a good show, I would say, because it ain't the youngins. It really ain't the youngins. It's not about the youngins out here putting on a show in that boxing ring, right? It's about a grown ass woman getting in there, a grown ass broad getting in there and showing you what her years of this boxing game has done to her and for her. Yeah, right? So you're going to see some real performance, some real entertainment. Now, Breakers has taken a break, I would say, since her two losses against Jessica McCaskill. So if y'all don't know the story, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the story. Okay, so McCaskill rallied. She fought Katie Taylor and was rallying. She was rallying at like 132. Then she jumped up and fought Katie Taylor at 135. Then she jumped up, I think, from there big time and fought Cecilia Breakhouse for all the belts. And I say it till this day, Cecilia actually won those two fights. Now, I done watched Cecilia all these years, and I done seen Cecilia rob people point blank, right? Cecilia has robbed many a fighters of victories, right? So it's kind of it's a karmatic. How can I say this without sounding like Miss Petty Betty? It's like a karmatic thrill to see Cecilia go through the same bullshit that she put some great fighters through, right? So Cecilia Breakers fought Jessica McCaskill, and the first fight was real nasty because McCaskill is wild, and she's just, her style is just a wild, uh, you know, rumble, rumble, roll and rumble type of fight. Like it ain't clean. You going to bang. You going, she going to put her head down. She going to windmill and step to you. Okay. And Cecilia Breakhouse is a boxer. She's from that boxing background pedigree. I believe Cecilia Breakhouse was an amateur world silver medalist. I think she was. We didn't cross paths in the amateurs either, because in that window of time when I stepped off my square as being ranked two in the world, um, for a bit of life and living, Cecilia came, and I believe Cecilia got the title after, when I stepped out of amateurs. So that, all right, and so she fought Jessica McCaskill. Who I don't I Jessica McCaskill does not have any amateur background. You could clearly see it from the way she fights, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just that, she just finds a way to get her job done. It's not as technically clean and proficient as someone like Cecilia Brækhus with an elite amateur background. Okay, so Cecilia lost her belts after holding on to them chumpies for, since 2007. And I suppose she took some time to think about where she is in her career and what she should be doing. Okay, she's long in the tooth now. She's a crone. And when she showed up for those two fights versus McCaskill, she did look kind of old in there, but she managed to handle McCaskill in good fashion. Like my they say this in the South, when you roll with a pig, you're gonna get some mud on you. Okay, so it wasn't a clean fight with McCaskill, but Cecilia Brækhus did manage in that fight well enough to handle McCaskill, decisively, where you could see that, yeah, she's managing this girl. But McCaskill came with the fight, and then McCaskill has a great team behind her. So McCaskill, sure enough, got some money behind her that made sure they paid that sanctioning body for them belts. Because that sanctioning body was like, Cecilia, guess what? You're going to have to give McCaskill them belts so she can make us some money on that. Um, Now, when, like, at this point in time, we want to measure, we want to measure the value, right? I want to see why Patricia Berghold and them made the decision that they did make in jumping over Chevelle Hallback's head and fighting Cecilia Brækhus, right? Because when you look at it, like, when you do look at it, if you want to look at it this way, Hallback is 50 years old. Hallback doesn't have the fighting frequency, so she ain't been in the ring as often as Cecilia. Um, she's not a relevant name. Not that she's not that she doesn't have value, but she's not as popular as Cecilia Brækhus, right? So I would think that her people would say, or Patricia would say, I would take my chances with fighting Hallback, because if we're going to play the game, let's play it. Hallback isn't a contender that would threaten me holding onto my belt. The sanctioning body most likely would not allow Chevelle at 50 years old to take that belt from me because they want longevity in whoever holds that belt, right? I'm not sure who would line up to. It would be. It's hard for Chevelle Halbach to get fights now because she's 50 years old. Okay, and that it just is what it is. But she's a name, right? And it's she's a name that is not in the bargain bin. She actually has. She's actually a bit of boxing royalty. She's fought Lucia Riker. She's fought the likes of those names. So if you have a victory against that, in a sense, you take some of that legacy onto your resume. Okay. Um, so, as a contender, you got Hal back, and then you have Breakhouse now, where Breakhouse has been, she's been off since her two losses to Jessica McCaskill. She's not an actual junior middleweight. She is, she fought at 147 welterweight. So Burkle may have an advantage there in being the bigger fighter who, can navigate a fight at middleweight more so than Breakus, right? And Breakus has been dropped in there by a smaller. Well, no, was Callie Ray's? I think Callie Ray's was a middleweight at the time she dropped. No, she was. Callie Ray's was 147. At the time she dropped Cecilia Breakhouse. So it shows that it would show Patricia that she may have some leverage here in fighting a smaller Cecilia Brækhus. And Cecilia Brækhus ain't knocking nobody out. She ain't hurt nobody. I never seen Cecilia Brækhus hurt nobody. She'll box and she dance you. She was the old Katie Taylor, right? She used to just out dance her opponents, and then if you didn't kill the queen, you were gonna lose. So a lot of fighters didn't get a chance to put her down except for Callie Reyes, right? And then of course Callie, I don't know what it is, if that was an agreement behind the scenes where Callie Reyes didn't jump on her ass after Cecilia, after them gloves touched the mat. You belong to me, little sissy poo, right? You're gonna have to. That's blood in the water. I'm a shark on your ass, right? But Callie Reyes actually stepped back and allowed Cecilia to come back into the fight, which I just could never understand. Um, so, there's a bit more leverage with Cecilia Brækhouse. You getting a victory over Cecilia Brækhouse more so than, to me, Chevelle Halbach. So I would have. Well, I guess they chose right then. They chose Cecilia coming up, but Cecilia wasn't even in line for a shot. So the end of the day, we have to play by the rules. If you don't play by the rules, you'll become a casualty of the same rules that you're breaking, right? And so I don't know. I guess Bergold is deciding that she's not going to stick around anymore because I don't see where anybody else is going to entertain her after any one of these, after Cecilia takes her belts, right? There might be some kind of entertainment when she beats Halbach, because now it's like, okay, you beat Halbach, you're a baddie. I need to get some, I need to get some street credit on my name off of you. But I ramble. We're gonna keep going, okay? So this is can y'all do I have another picture here so we can keep the flow go? My lovely assistant. What you got? Ah, there he go. So, uh, no, 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 no. Go back, go back, go back. I ain't ready for that. Okay, so this is the thing. That title defense is happening in Cali, Colombia. Okay, and you guys, the promoter is Yvonne Michelle, who the image, that's who we're looking at right now, image wise. Okay, so you see that that smile only a mother could love. There you go. He now is putting on this show, and this is the story with Yvonne Michelle. Okay, so this is, I believe it is Yvonne Group. That is what his promotion is, and it's in Quebec. Okay, now this promoter is laying low off of the death of Jeanette Zacharias, who traveled from her country. I believe she's from Mexico. She traveled to Quebec with her husband, and she ended up getting killed in her fight against Marie Pierre, who is Yvonne Michelle's, who is a part of Yvonne Michelle's stable. And as I've said in the Black Eye of Women's Boxing, there is someone on that team who sits and studies and stalks and watches and picks opponents, handpicks opponents that are uh, ready to be slaughtered for whatever promoter they're working for. So the matchmaker for Yvonne's promotion for his stable picked Jeanette Zacharias because of her previous results, and knew that Jeanette Zacharias would definitely get knocked out. But they call this an accident. Um, they said it was an accident, that they didn't think that Jeanette was going to die. And if you look at Jeanette Zacharias's record, and if you looked at the window between all of her fights, if you were a matchmaker worth your paper, you would know that this fighter is in no condition to be in a match like what you put her in. Okay, so Yvonne Michelle has laid low in the game because don't nobody want that on them, right? Don't nobody want that blood. He's got blood on his hands. His promotion has blood on their hands in women's boxing, right? A woman died because of how you matched her. And that is not anything to be ignored or swept under the rug, okay? A life was lost, right? A family broken. Jeanette was married, okay? So she left a widower. She left her husband a widower and her family. So what's happened now is, I'm sure, the commission, the Canadian Commission, or in Quebec or whatever, is very much aware, and they want to try to now make sure rules are being followed. So Yvonne Michelle's got, he has a spotlight on him. He's not going to put together women's matches on the mainland. He's going to try to do it somewhere else. So low key, he's putting together this show, or promoting this show, in Colombia. Okay, which coincidentally is where Cecilia Bregas is originally from. She was born in Colombia. So I see what y'all doing, right? It's sounding like some shenanigans here. It's sounding like now Cecilia is on her last couple on her last rotation in the industry, and she might have gotten into a deal or might have somehow got picked up working with Yvonne Michelle, and they trying to get Cecilia as a contender at 154. And this is what I foresee happening, because this, y'all, is what this raggedy man, yeah, I called you raggedy, Yvonne Michelle, right? Because um, you playing dirty out here. You're not helping women. You're hurting us. Now, Marie Pierre, Marie Pierre Houle, or her last name is Houle. Okay, Houle, they're French. Okay, after she fought Jeanette Zacharias. Okay, she fought her, I think, sometime in August of last year as well. Right, so someone died under your hands, Marie Pierre Houle. You would think that she sat her ass down and think about what had happened, right? Because if I kill somebody, I've done my share of hurting in boxing. And I remember specifically when I fought Kelly Kofor, who was, uh, she was a great contender at the time. I was honored to get an opportunity to fight her. She actually fought me. I fought her at Casino Rama in Canada. So she came to my backyard because she thought she was going to beat Sugar. Okay, and I dropped Kelly Kofor two times that you can count, but I hurt her several times in that fight. And because she was a great fighter, because she was a tough, she was a tough cookie, she didn't stay down and she didn't drop. She kept coming back, right? Because her father, I was hearing him on the other side of the ring. Like, I'm in my corner getting my instruction from my coach, and I'm hearing her father over on the other side of the ring talking about, she ain't nobody. She ain't fought nobody. She's nobody. I'm like, he talking about me, right? I'm like, won't she need to tell him what I'm doing to her in here, right? Because in my I know I'm giving her everything in the kitchen sink, right? And after that fight, I won that fight. It was majority decision. But I'm talking about this fight because after that fight, Kelly didn't know who she was. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know who her father was. She had gotten uh, she had gotten so many blows that she had temporary amnesia and had to go to the hospital. And I felt horrible. I did, because it went beyond just a fight now. I did something to her that would affect her long term existence, her life, right? Because we were chatting before the fight, we were chatting at weigh in, and she told me that she was in school actually, taking her master's degree. And she was talking about, because I had so much respect for her as a fighter. And she was, she came in, it was all about her. She knew, she was like, all right, fangirl, I'm gonna tell you about me. I'm in school, I'm taking my master's degree, and I'm showing up here to fight you. So I was like, okay, good. I took nothing, no offense to that, but I was like, wow. And then after, she couldn't even remember who she was after she fought me. So my conscience kicked in. After that, I became really aware of the fact that these women who did sign up to fight me were definitely taking a chance in fighting me because they knew what I was capable of. You could look on BoxRec right now. I have very little fights because very little, not many people would take the chance. right? I had my percentage was I got a good percentage of KO rate, even for the little fights I had, and they weren't KOs against body bags. They were KOs against, or they were those um, one against some really good contenders. Good contenders. Okay, so I digress. I bring it back to Marie Pierre Hullet. All right, after having something to do with the death of Jeanette Zacharias in the ring, did not set her ass down for a break at all. She moved on to fight somebody, right? And not even a contender, like not even, she didn't even say, you know what, y'all, can y'all, find me a better contender so I can redeem myself. No, matchmaker brought in another, I call him 4 and 40 fighter, meaning another fighter that had more losses than wins on their record. So she 5 months after, I mean, she fought. Goodness, I just made some notes here. She fought within 5 months of Jeanette's death 2 times. Okay, handpicked 4 and 40 fighters. Okay, she was 6-0 when she fought Jeanette, and I believe she's 8-0 now. So she kept it going. She has no conscience for what she's doing in there, and that's Yvonne Michelle's fighter. All right, so that's this guy's fighter. This is what he does because he put it out there so she can continue to fight, right? So a promoter that does that is not caring about the lives of these women that are putting money into his pocket, that are allowing him to have these shows. He just wants to make money off the blood. Okay, make note of that. Make note of this guy. So where are we? Okay, so the shenanigans now. Cecilia Brecas, Colombian. Okay, I'm sure she has a pull there because she's Colombian. This title fight against Bergolt is in Colombia. Okay, Bergolt is fighting, not like, this is not even the champion's home ground, so you already know what it is. And then this is not the champion's promoter, so you already know what's finna, what's gonna go down. Okay, we got some home cooking. So I really believe that if this fight happens, if this injunction doesn't go through that Chevelle Halbach's team put out, that Cecilia Brecos will fight Bergolt, and Cecilia Brecos will take Bergolt's belts because of just how. I mean, I'm a little bit Jamaican, so I'm gonna say it's just how the thing set. Just how I see the thing setting up and how it's going. It's looking like somebody finna get robbed of their belts, and it's going to be Patricia for sure. Um, so this is the deal. Halbach is known to be Miss Nice Lady in the business. She's everybody's friend, right? Give me the next image, y'all. Give me the next image. This one's for the people. Uh, this is for the people who are actually looking in on the visual feed. Okay, so that's Jeanette Zacharias. R.I.P. Sweetie. Okay, I saw your fight and you went down like a true warrior. Okay. Um, let's go on to the next image. Let's go on to the next image. So there it is. That's the blow that ended it. So, I mean, for my listeners coming in, I'm very passionate about how it went down with Jeanette Zacharias that night, because number one, they knew she was gonna get knocked out. She was picked to get knocked out. So this is why everybody is responsible, like the whole team. The ref knew, right? And so instead of looking to preserve the life and health of both fighters in the ring, which is what his damn job is, I just put this picture up, but y'all who are listening in, please go look at the pictures, right? The pictures, you will see that the ref is there standing and watching Jeanette get this damage. She's getting punched, and when she's getting punched, right? When you're in the ring and you see this is the thing. This is how you determine whether somebody's in a fight or not. When somebody gets punched and and their head pops back all the way back, and their eyes are closed, they are gone. They're done. They're not in the fight, right? She's not popping up. She's not alert. The ref is looking at this, and he still allowed Marie Pierre Houlet, or whatever your last name is, to beat on the girl when he could have stopped the fight and preserved this young lady's life. And I'm going to speak on it because my fight versus Jessica McCaskill was an unwarranted stoppage. Right? They jumped in and stopped that. I was up, I was alert, I was talking to the ref, and they stopped my fight. This girl was out on her feet, eyes closed, head snapped back. And the ref, because Yvonne and them want this fantastic, glorious knockout victory for Marie Pierre, watched this girl's life leave her body. Yeah. Right? I'm calling y'all on this. I said what I said. Right? We can chime in on a Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Anybody that know these people, right? Come talk about it if I'm being unreasonable, right? Or if you're somebody who Mary Pierre Houlet's fan or whatever, come talk to me. Justify to me why your girl is why your girl is a champion, or why your girl is champion pedigree by being a part of something like this. Right? Some people don't deserve it. And these people don't. And this fighter doesn't. She didn't even set her ass down to respect the fact that she took somebody's life in there. At least sit your ass down for 6 months. She was right back in there. It doesn't work like that. Killer. Yeah, I said it. Because you jump right back in there knowing that you had that blood on your hands. I'm sorry, let me calm down. I digress. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, so we gonna go back to this injunction with Chevelle Hallback, and why now Chevy is out here screaming that this is not fair. Cecilia jumped over my head, right? Let me see the next image, you guys. Let me see what we got for the next image. So here it goes. Come on, y'all. Be good to me. This next image is the actual fight. Okay, so I'm gonna say it for my listeners. Chevelle Hallback and Cecilia Brækhus did fight. They fought some time ago, and they fought on Cecilia Brækhus's home ground in Denmark. Okay, Cecilia was actually co-promoting her own fights at the time, so her team was the team. She was the promoter, or she was one of the promoters, and she was getting in there to fight. Okay, which is very, very it's very enterprising of her, and very forward thinking and stepping of her as a woman in boxing now, right? I thought that was a good look for her. But in this fight, what happened was she got her ass whooped by Chevelle Hallback. I remember being so excited about this fight because I knew that, oh yeah, this going to be the one. Chevy going to take the belts from Cecilia. Next image, and peculiarly enough, after the fight happened, y'all give me another. After the fight happened, okay, there was no video of the fight that anyone can see or watch or refer to. There were no pictures of the fight that anyone could see and refer to. There was just biased media, because I always talk about the women's boxing media bandwagon riders saying, oh, Cecilia Brækhus defeats Chevelle Hallback, defeats unanimous decision, right? Let me tell you where this unanimous decision was coming from, okay? All of the judges on that deciding panel for that fight were from Europe. Cecilia Brækhus is a European champion. How you going to have all the judges on a title fight panel come from the country of one of the contenders? Right? That's the garbage that used to happen, that still happens, but it was really bad back in the day because they knew nobody was paying attention to women's boxing. So they could get away with stuff like that, right? So Chevy tried her luck. She flew from her home, USA, to fight Cecilia in her backyard and did a good enough job where nobody wanted to show it and remember, right? And now there are pictures out here on the web because Chevelle Hallback's team put it out of how Cecilia Brækhus looked after the fight, okay? And I'm going to just put this description out there, okay? You see it, and you're going to see it a lot. I said it last time when the Medusa, Leonardo fought Katie Taylor, where Medusa said, look at me and look at her. I don't have a scratch on me, and look at her, right? You can see that I won the fight. Well, it's the same situation a lot of the times, especially in this situation here, what we're talking about, Chevelle Hallback versus Cecilia Brækhus. So you see Chevelle Hallback. Sorry, you guys that are listening in, but check out the live, check out the video on YouTube or all the other platforms that my guys here at Talkin Fight put my show out on. Okay, you'll see the image of Chevelle Hallback. She has just a little, a little piece of tape on her eye, and you see Cecilia Brækhus hugging on her, looking like Bro from the Goonies. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know the Goonies. Who out here has not seen the movie Goonies? Okay. Sloth. Yeah, Mike, you see it. All right, so put this next image up. Let me see if my guys did what I put the next image up. Let me see. Did y'all put Sloth up? Because I had to put Sloth up. Look, oh shoot. Tell me they ain't twins. All right, so right now for my listeners, I got the picture up. All right, and it may not be that bad, but Cecilia Brækhus and Sloth from the Goonies kind of looking like twins in this picture that my lovely assistant put together. That's what Chevelle Hallback got and went and did to Cecilia, and they did not put none of these images out here on the internet. But yet this broad is a legend. Child, please give me a break. You lied. I gotta go. Okay, so those are the facts. That's the talk. right? That's what I'm finding that very interesting about this, this hot, um, this hot topic in the newly live middleweight division, because everybody's running there. Everybody's running there, and the crone Chevelle Halbach is calling everybody out, and I want to see it. I want to see it. Okay. So Chevelle went and called out Natasha Jonas. Yeah, she said, "Girl, you still I got some tricks that you don't know about, Miss Olympian." And I like it too, because y'all know I like Natasha Jonas as a fighter. Okay. But I like Chevy as a crone fighter too. And I would love to see them get together and really prove who the baddest broad is in that fight. Chevy's calling out Hannah Rankin, and Hannah got a little bit of she coming out of the hot pot where Alexandria, she put the fighter Alexandria, what's her last name, Alejandro, I think Alexandra Alejandro, in the hospital. She was in an induced coma. I think she just got out recently, but we don't know what the condition of Alexandra Alejandro is. And I plan on following up with that, because Hannah Rankin and her promoters and them, they came out speaking on behalf of Alejandra's team, saying, "Oh, she's all right. She's doing good. Don't y'all worry about her." And I'm like, "Hello, cool your heels, because you are not her representative. You don't get to speak for her, right? Alejandra could never speak for you and tell the public that Hannah Rankin is okay. So Hannah, you can't speak on uh, Alexandra's condition, and neither can your promoter." So I mean, money talks in these situations, and what you guys don't understand in women's boxing is these women out here, they're going into they're getting beat up, they're going into the hospital, some are dying, some have died, some have been beaten so bad that they don't have their faculties now, and it's swept under the rug because these promoters, these guys like Yvonne Michelle, right, these guys like Hannah Rankin's promoter, right, they got the money to make you disappear. Yeah. So now you laid up somewhere eating Gerber baby food because your last fight you got set up in, and nobody is around to care or tell the tale, right? Oh, it's Alexandra Ayala. Thank you for the correction, my guys out here. So it's Alexandra Ayala that got put into a coma by Hannah Rankin. So guess what, Hannah? I want to see you do that with Chevelle Hallback. I want to see you try. I want to see you stand in front of a real baddie and do what you do, since you tough. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Marie de Carre got called out by Chevelle Hallback after she got wiped by Clarissa Shields. I kind of had I kind of had my enough. I had my enough taste of that. Right, it wasn't really exciting enough for me to want to see that girl fight nobody again. No time. But she's been off long enough, or she's been, not on the spotlight long enough to make some adjustments and become better. So hopefully she used that ass whooping that Clarissa gave to her as a stepping stone, or as an opportunity to say, "Damn, my ass got to get better, because I can't have nobody beating on me like this again." Right, but she's also a Quebec fighter. I believe she's under Yvonne Michelle. So I mean, they got a good matchmaker. So matchmaker, I'm talking to you. I guess you could find another body bag or somebody else that's right for the slaughter for Marie de Carey to look good again. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe, right? But hopefully one day you just put her to fight somebody, you know, not, I mean, Clarissa Shields is Clarissa Shields, but you'll put her and Marie in some real fights. Okay. She called out Halbach called out Chris Nabus. And Chris Namus, this is the thing though. Chris Namus is a good contender out of Argentina, but she got slumped. She got slumped by Natasha Jonas just recently, and because she got slumped, she's suspended. Because anytime you get knocked out, if the commissions do what they're supposed to do, you're suspended for about 3 to 6 months so your brain can heal, so your body can heal. Y'all know I live in the city, so what you hear in the background is just city life. Okay, all right. So and it happens every show. Okay, it's not that I'm in a bad neighborhood, it's just that I'm by a police station. So um where are we? So getting back to the topic, okay? Chris Namus is scheduled to fight Mary Spencer, okay? One of my guys chimed in and said, it does happen every show. Oh gosh, okay. So, she's scheduled to fight Mary Spencer this month, the 18th. So, hopefully that fight happens, because Mary Spencer, I put it out there, I put the vibes out there. Mary Spencer is someone that you guys are gonna want to watch. Y'all want to see how this girl does in the pro game, because she was a very highly accomplished amateur, and Mary Spencer was the girl before Clarissa came and knocked her off the pedestal and took the crown. Yeah. So still giving her props, just because that happened doesn't mean she's not still a great fighter. Keep a lookout for her. And then, Emma Kozin. So I got to say, I didn't want to say this, but I got to say it because Emma Kozin, okay? The thing about Emma Kozin is, and she brings light to how people are playing the game in women's boxing. Okay, in women's boxing, either you are a damn good fighter and you win in the ring, or you got a damn good team who's winning outside of the ring for you, right? So you win the fight outside of the ring, so when you get to the ring, all you got to do is perform. Okay, and Emma Kozin is one of those fighters. Okay, her resume or her record is packed and padded with 4 and 40 fighters. Okay, fighters that have more losses than wins. Okay, I believe, who did she lose to? Y'all come tell me. Oh, she fought Clarissa Shields and lost to Clarissa Shields. That was her last fight. Okay, but her team said, no, we're not gonna let that happen to you. We're gonna get that win back for you. And they pulled Sylvia Zabados out the damn bargain bin, who is a 4 and 40 fighter. I think Zabados is like, she has something like maybe 10 wins, 60 losses. Yeah, something like that. And she TKO'd Zabados. Oh, good job, Kozin. So now your record, I guess, is back. Oh, okay. So Zabados is 18 for 18. 18 wins and 18 losses. Okay. So that. So these are the contenders in the junior middleweight division. Okay, and I suppose it's gonna get back packed. It's gonna start getting spicy there, and I like it. That's a good division to get some action, right? Because these women, they're sturdy. These are you're going to see some power, right? You're not going to see glorified uh tag and hide and seek in the ring, because I'm just Katie Taylor, you are a darling. You are the darling of women's boxing. But girl, I am through. I've seen it after this Amanda fight. I've seen enough of you play hide and damn seek and touch and go in the ring. I want to see some real fighting happen, right? And I'm hoping that will happen now in this middleweight division, junior middleweight division, with these ladies. We know Clarissa is a part of that mix, and I think we can get some good action uh, happening now in that. Now, in there are other so one of my guys chimes in and say Katie is a track star. Won't ain't she? Won't she take off into a damn sprint and outrun you in a fight? Won't she do that? I mean, come on. That's one thing. That's one thing for damn sure. Like when you signed that contract to fight Katie, you ain't got to worry about getting knocked out or hurt. You got to worry about what kind of running shoes you gonna wear. Right? Because I mean, even Amanda's getup for that Katie Taylor fight, she looked like she was trying to cross breed between the being a boxer and some kind of running person. Yes, girl, I went in on your outfit, Amanda. It just didn't sit right with me. I think you should have looked fabulous. I've seen you wear better outfits to fight in, and you had the center stage, Madison Square Garden, and you showed up with that on. Mm-mm. We're women at the end of the day, right? And at the end of the day, because we have been we have the privilege, yes, we have the privilege of being looked at in that way, desirable in that way. We should take full advantage of that. Show up as fabulous as you can be, and then whoop ass. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up now, but there's a fight that I want to honorably mention on this show, right? Because man, I watched this fight with very low expectations for some reason, and I'm sorry, but I got to keep it real with y'all, okay? It was the Delphine Pursoon fight versus Elham Mekhaled, okay? And I think that was a fight over there in Dubai. All right, let me tell you something. I will watch Elham McCalland again and again. Yes. So, Delphine Pursoon showed up, right? She showed up as the main event, or she showed up as the main deal, as the main name, but Elham stole the show. Yes. Watch that fight, you guys. McCallid reminds me of a young Layla McCarter. Yes, I am, and I feel good in saying that, because now we have some ladies to refer to. It's a peeve of mine to hear someone says, "Oh, she's a girl, Roy Jones. She fight like a this," and it's a guy, right? That means that we don't even have enough skin in the game for anyone to remember the style of a good female fighter, right? Because the going trend for women's boxing, and it's either you a track star like Katie Taylor and Cecilia Brækhus, or you going in there and you just throwing wild and you trying to bomb people out, like how the majority of these fighters are trying to be this big hitter, and like, Christy Martin and all of them were, right? There's no finesse, there's no style, there's no boxing, there's no strategy that is executed except for very few, right? Sugar used to do that. I did that. I loved executing a strategy in the ring. I love it. And I love to watch a fighter, male or female, execute a strategy. It's just different. If you know the game, that's where the entertainment is, right? You see the style, you see the finesse, you see the performance, you see how everything comes together to a victory or to a loss. And there's that respect there, right? So it's not when you look at it that way, it's not about who wins or who loses. You understand that boxing ain't a game that you play. It's strategy, right? It is will. It is determination. It is belief in what you've been taught, in your strategy. It's that belief to know that I got the winning game plan and I'm going to execute this bad boy and be the champion and be the winner. It is the belief that I am I am so loyal to my plan. I'm so loyal to my team, to my coach, that I will stick with this strategy to the very end, win or lose. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. It is, my guys chimed in, it is truly a game of chess, not checkers. Okay? So, Elham McCallid exposed Pursoon because Pursoon got this jittery style that boom, she get hit, but she's in your face and she's on top of you and she's swinging, and she had enough grit and stamina to wear Katie Taylor down and put that pressure on Katie to where she roughed Katie up. She roughed Katie up. Okay? Sorry, but Katie put on a performance, enough of a performance both times that she showed that she had the best game plan and the better generalship than Pursoon. So in this case, in this fight between Ella McCallid and Delphine Pursoon, uh, Elham showed that despite of despite of her fighting Pursoon, who is a very high caliber um, uh, contender, she had what it takes in her understanding uh, of boxing and of executing a strategy to expose someone like Pursoon, who has been around the block at the highest level. And I really, really commend her on that. Um, she was one of my guys came in. She was 15-0 coming into this fight. So even more props to her. She put her O on the line, right? She could have taken the easy route. She could have and fought some more body bags and got up to 20-0 or 30-0, and then let's have a super fight. But no, she has a good understanding of what she needs to do to actually grow and become a um a substantially equipped fighter in this game, which is going to give her longevity. So yeah, baby, Pursuing took your O, but that's not the end for you. You are a good enough fighter, Elham, to fight any of the women in the division in 135. I would even like to see you, if you could make it, go down to 132, fight and fight the Disney princess, Michaela Meyer. Yeah, I would love to see you fight Bumgardner, right? I would love to see you fight any of those girls. You got it. You got the sauce. You got what it takes. So I'm saying this. Yes, y'all watch out for Elham Mekhaled, right? She's 15-1 now. Someone chimed in, Pursuan's debut was 2009. So she exposed a fighter that's been around since 2009. Okay, she's and I think McCallid is pretty new in the game, so I mean quite commendable. Good job on you, Pursuing. Congratulations for your win. Where you going now? Where you gonna go? Cause Katie ain't gonna fight you again. I want to see you fight Amanda Serrano, right? So see if you could, you know, tie it. I mean, this might work. Tie a note on one of them pigeon feet or one of them birds and send it off and hope that it lands on Amanda's windowsill, and then maybe she'll open the note and say, Pursoon, I got the note. I'm gonna ask Jordan if we can fight. Since she don't get no phone calls, since she don't get a chance to talk on the phone or watch TV or do nothing like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Get it how you do. Sometimes if you can't walk through the door, climb through a window, send a bird, send a pigeon, a carrier bird. That sometimes you just got to get it done like that, right? Pursoon versus Amanda Serrano I think that's a money fight. I think it's a super fight. Oh shoot! My guys coming in. Send a smoke signal. Yes, right, right. What's that? What's that? What they call that? When they put the message, that SOS message. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that girl needs some help. Amanda, unless she retires after this big Katie fight, but girl, you need another big fight. And Pursoon, she ain't going to be the mega, but she'll be a super. Serrano versus Pursoon will be a super fight. Try to get that. Morse. That's what it is. That's Morse code. Yeah. There's more than one way to get to Amanda, because you certainly ain't gonna get her on the cell phone. Jordan don't play that. I said what I said. Okay. So that's it, you guys. That's it. The Sugar Show has come to its completion tonight. We got a chance to touch on the middleweight, junior middleweight division that's getting hot, and talking about now the mandatory Chevelle Halbach getting her shot at that green belt against Patricia Bergold. And now, Cecilia Brækhus, who we see. Uh, you know what? Y'all change the picture. Let me see. We got more images too. I didn't even get to go through all the images. What's the other image, y'all? This for my people watching and my people listening. Y'all check the show out. Right. So this is Ellen McCallid. She throwing she serving that hook to Pursoon, and you see, this is why I mean this image is profound, because you see Elham in she's delivering like that's a textbook hook. That's a position. It's landing right there on the target on Pursoon's chin, and you see Pursoon standing with both shoulders facing Elham. She doesn't even have her guard up. She doesn't have no lead. I mean, this is boxing 101. She's just running right into the offense of Elham. And this was the theme the whole fight, pretty much. The whole fight. So the thing I would suggest with Elham and your team Elham McCollid is, you need a bit more, you need to get stronger in there. You need a bit more generalship in there. Okay, because you right now you really still you don't have a name. So when you come in the ring, you have to show that generalship. You have to own the real estate of the ring, right? Fight when you want to. Bring these women into the fights, right? You follow great strategy, right? Expose them like how you expose Pursoon, but now with that generalship, take what's yours. Yeah, because you can. Someone came in, looks like she got hit into deep thought, right? She Pursoon looked like, damn, maybe, just maybe I should have had my guard up. Maybe, right? Maybe my coach, I mean, yeah, the, the thinker. Yeah, right? She caught you square, girl. Pursoon, she exposed you. You do better. Okay. So, that's it, you guys. Like, subscribe, share this sugar. And y'all know what it is. It's a party 7:30 on Wednesdays, every Wednesday with sugar. We hear do I have any more pictures, you guys? Just let's see. Is there any more pictures up? Oh, yes, look at that. Now, my people that are listening and my people that are actually looking at the pictures, looking at the show, these is the two fighters in the fight, right? To the right is Delphine Pursoon, the winner. And to the left is Delphine Pursoon, the winner of this fight. And to the right is Elham McCollid, right? I don't know. The last time I ever been in a fight, or the last time I ever seen a fight, the loser or the person that got their ass whooped is the one with the blood and with the cuts, with the titty popping out their eye. That's the person who got their ass. The person who is the winner of the fight is normally the one that comes out of it with the least damage. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That at the end of the day, it is a fight. Okay. This is what women's boxing is looking like now, right? You'll whoop a person's ass, and as long as they are standing on their feet, if the shenanigans can go their way, they will steal that fight from you. And us, as the public, as the media, as the fans in women's boxing, in the only way we can get the best out of this industry, the only way that we can get this money coming in and get a better platforms is to stop this garbage from happening, right? Because this right here, y'all are looking at Delphine Pursoon's face looking mangled versus Elham McColled's face, who is clean and pristine, is the reason why fighters like fighters like Alexandria Ayala and fighters like my girl Jeanette Zacharias and other women are dying out here. Yes. Okay, it's not a matter of who's left standing. When somebody getting their ass beat in a fight, stop the fight. Right? There's nothing left to see. Okay, you guys, I say it again: like, subscribe, share some of this sugar, and I will see y'all next Wednesday, same time, same place at 7:30 on Wednesday. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.